Hello, everyone. I am Jose Betancourt, and you're listening to Cheese, a photography podcast. So, a few episodes back, I talked about my introduction to photography, how I took a course in high school, and since then, I've been enamored with photography. I also was in the football team for 1 year, and oddly enough, it's one of my regrets because I should have stuck with football for the entirety of my high school years because I love football. I love watching football. And when I was able to, I loved playing football. And so throughout the years, one of my biggest regrets was not sticking with football. And it wasn't because I felt like I was capable of becoming a pro and making millions of dollars. It was more of that I missed the camaraderie that came with football. I missed the discipline, taking care of my body, being at a peak athletic state, and being disciplined as far as learning patterns, learning your assignments, going to practice at a certain time, so on and so on. It's almost like the military. And for, wow, 30 plus years, I'm 47 now, I really had that in the back of my head. And every so often I would think about why didn't I play football in high school and well, I played for 1 year, but why didn't I continue? So as fate would have it, I kept in contact with my football coach, and he saw that I was doing photography, and he contacted me, and he had asked if I was doing photography professionally. So we talked a little bit, and I told him if he needs anything to let me know. So one day there was an auction for some old football jerseys. I went with my wife. I picked up a random number. I just wanted to support my old high school, so I bought myself a used jersey. And we were talking, and so I told him, I said, "Look, coach, I will volunteer my time to take the team photos if you need so." And so he said he would get back to me. So months later, he hits me up and he says, "Look, would you like to take the team photo? How much would you charge us?" I said, "Absolutely nothing. It would be my honor to do so." So, in an odd way, I felt a lot of pressure because I felt like here I am back on the practice field. I'm, I'm I have these expectations that my coach wants me to meet. Now, just to be clear, my coach just wanted a nice team photo of the team. I put all the pressure on myself because in an odd way, I felt like this was my way of redeeming myself for not being on the team after my first year. And so leading up to the photo shoot, I was extremely nervous. I had dreams about it. And I would tell my wife that I have to make sure I get the lighting correct. I would check the weather to see how the sun was going to be that day. My luck, it was cloudy. And since we're on daylight savings time, the sun goes down a lot earlier. So the photo shoot was scheduled for 3:30 p.m. And I was so worried that I was going to lose the sunlight. And I brought two of my cameras, my Fuji X-H1 and my Fuji GFX 50R. And so I took the photo with the Fuji GFX 50R, but me being me, I was so worried that the 45 millimeter f2.8 wasn't going to have a wide enough field of view to catch everyone on the team. So I had to do practice shots. I was surrounded by some of the members of the team. Everyone's running around, laughing, and I'm like so tight and so stressed out that I'm going to get this photo wrong. Now, they only wanted one photo, which was somewhat a relief because I knew, okay, I have time for one good photo. I have enough light. And if I have to, I'll put the ISO high on my Fuji GFX 50R. It can handle it. I just wanted to make sure that my lens was going to fit everyone and that there was going to be enough soft light because it was cloudy. So I had soft light. And I wanted to make sure that the angle of my photo was going to look good as well because they were on the bleachers looking down. So I didn't want to take a photo where everyone was looking down at me. So I had to hold the camera above my head, make sure that I had enough of a shutter speed so that it can compensate for me not having it on a tripod. I wanted everything to be sharp. I even did manual focus with focus peaking, of course. Now, here's the funny part. In the viewfinder, everything looked good after I took the photo. But when I got home, the photos looked blurry, and I was like, "Oh my God, this can't be happening. What's going on?" I was freaking out. I mean, freaking out really bad. Like certain people were in focus, certain people were not. And with medium format, you have to be really careful. Now, I was shooting at, I believe, an aperture of 5.6, so it was enough depth of field so I can get everyone. And I was far back enough. So I had the combination of distance, my aperture was open, and I had a wide lens, or a fairly wide lens with the 45 millimeter. But what was really happening was that Capture One was taking some time to process these photos because it was 100 megabytes worth of information being uploaded to my computer. So lo and behold, everything cleared up. I was satisfied with the images and I did my processing, and my coach absolutely loved the photo. And I felt some closure because when I delivered the photo, I framed it, and my coach is not really animated. He's someone who really loves football. He loves the community surrounding the high school. He's dedicated his life to the high school and just having a place for kids to go to. And I was speaking about discipline, camaraderie, and that's the stuff that he wants to preach to these high school students because it's in the Bronx and a lot of teenagers don't have a place to go. So football is an escape for a lot of people. They might not go pro, but they learn valuable lessons in life. So I felt some closure. And he told me, hey, what if we can get you as the official photographer for our sports teams, specifically the football team? Of course, I said I would love that. So he said, you know what? Now you're dealing with the school. So they're going to pay you if everything goes through. So that's totally way down the line if that happens. But that was not my intentions. And the reason why I wanted to share this story was because through photography, I was able to personally redeem myself. And if you think I'm over exaggerating about the football part of this story, I am not. It was really something that bothered me. And because of photography, because he saw through Facebook that I was doing photography, we were able to reconnect and actually build a closer relationship than ever before because he was no longer just my coach, an authority figure. He was someone that, as an adult myself, I could relate to because we both want to see the newer generation live through a disciplined and not only a disciplined life, but have a group of people who are into the same thing and have that support system so that they're not getting in trouble doing the wrong things. And who knows, maybe down the line they'll see me more often. They'll see me taking photos of games and doing more team photos, and maybe they get interested in photography themselves. Who knows? That is the beauty of doing these things, is that someone will be influenced by your actions, and that's where you have to be a responsible individual. So that's my story. It was this happened recently, as a matter of fact. I posted the photo on Facebook, and it was really special. It was really special for me. It was something as small as taking a team photo, but just being back on the football field and doing something for my high school football team and not charging them. I didn't want any accolades. I was doing this from the bottom of my heart because it was an honor for me to do it. And that happened because of photography. So, yeah, there goes that. So, as always, I'm Jose Betancourt. I thank you for listening to Cheese, a photography podcast. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you next week.